If Gen Z isn't listening to you, it's because they don't hear the words the way you think they do. Like if you say, take ownership, they might be hearing, figure it out on your own and don't screw up. So in this video, I'll show you how to talk to them in a way that makes them hear you and act on what needs to be done. To start, we need to understand what's causing this communication so you notice it when you talk to them. The clash isn't about attention spans. It's about orientation. You're handing people the whole route while they're asking, where am I? What's next? And am I on track? At work, this shows up as slide decks and roadmaps and pre-read memos, useful sometimes, but they force people to decode the plan before they can act. Think about maps. Gen Z grew up with a GPS in their pocket. You type in a destination and the only thing that matters is, am I heading the right direction right now? The destination barely matters once it's set. What matters is orientation, where you are, the next step, and whether you're drifting off course. And of course, if you take a wrong turn, the GPS doesn't judge you. It just says recalculating and tells you what to do next. Anyone over 40 remembers physical paper maps. You'd have to plan the route. You marked landmarks and you tried to spot obstacles ahead. That trained us to think that clarity comes from knowing the entire map. And this is not just the Gen Z thing, to be truthful. Almost none of us use paper maps anymore. Technology has changed our expectations. We don't want more detail. We want better orientation. That expectation doesn't disappear at work. People want to know where they are, whether they're on track, and what their next step is without decoding the entire plan. So communicate like a GPS. Start with a quick orientation. Here's where we are. Here's what on track looks like. And here's the next step. Keep the steps small and reversible. And if things change, don't scold. Just recalculate. There's new info. Here's the turn. And then give them the next step. Save the full map thing for when it's truly needed. Complex trade-offs, training, or when somebody asks for it. Otherwise, keep people moving with clear current direction. We're all living in a GPS world now, and we need to lead like it. Now, this isn't just your team. There's a whole wider pattern at work here. Gallup's data shows us that engagement is sliding across all industries. And one thing that it keeps showing underneath it, role clarity is breaking down. Leaders feel like they're explaining more, checking in more, but getting less movement. Employees feel unsure what success actually looks like, even when it seems clear on paper. Gallup frames it as an engagement issue. Underneath, it's really a breakdown in orientation. And it's everywhere: tech, healthcare, finance, education, different fields, the same frustration. So if leading feels heavier than it used to, you're not imagining it. The environment has changed, and so did how people need information. Treat it like an orientation problem. Show, here's where we are, here's what good looks like, and here's what the next step is. Okay, here's a real life example. When people hit an obstacle, they don't speed up, they usually freeze. Most leaders reinstate the goal or add detail, but again, the real issue is orientation. I was guiding a younger team member to a venue in a new city, and the destination was clear. We all knew where we were going. They followed the digital map exactly until they hit a road closure. And then suddenly they were stuck. They didn't know whether to turn back, wait it out, or find another way. Not because they didn't care or weren't capable, but because the map didn't say what to do from where they were standing. So I didn't talk about the venue. I didn't explain why it mattered. I didn't walk them through the whole route again. All of that was already known. What helped was simpler. I just helped them orient. I told them where they were right now, which way they were facing, and the next turn to get around the closure. Once they had that, they moved immediately. The destination didn't change. The timeline didn't change. The plan didn't change. What changed was their ability to see themselves back on path. That's a shift most leaders miss. When someone stalls, don't push harder to explain more. Just reorient them. Show them, here's where you are, here's what on track looks like, and here's where the next step is. Look, here's what that moment made clear. The most important story a leader tells isn't the company's, it's the other person's. Before people care about where you're going, they need to know where they are. Before they can move towards the destination, they have to see themselves back on the path. That's orientation. helping someone place their story inside of a larger one. When leaders do this well, they usually answer 3 questions, often without even realizing it. First, where are you right now? Not in theory, not in an org chart, in the work. What's true? What's stuck? What's in front of you right now? Second, what does success look like from here? Not eventually, not from the company's position, from your position. How we'll know you did this well. Third, what's the next move? Not the whole plan, just the next turn that gets you moving again. When people can answer those 3, they don't wait. They don't need reminders. They don't need you to hover. They move because they see themselves in the story again. This is the bottom line. Leadership isn't about pushing people to the destination. It's about helping them find themselves on the way there. Gen Z, certainly, but everyone else too. When people know where they are, what success looks like from their seat, and what the next step is, action stops needing reminders. Momentum becomes natural. Think GPS, quick orientation, and then the next turn. That's the North Star I keep coming back to. The most important story you tell as a leader is the other person's. Start there and everything works better, Gen Z or not. So check out this video next. I'll walk you through a simple way to structure your next presentation so it actually gets what you want: alignment, momentum, and real action after a meeting. Because the goal isn't to say more, it's to make what you say land.